Inner healing, go back, Mia. Sorry. It's okay. It says in Jeremiah, and I can't see it. So Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I consecrated you and appointed you. I appointed you prophet to the nations. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So if we had a doubt of why we exist, this is telling us why. You know, God knew us before we were born. He destined us to come here for a purpose. And because he destined us, he knows us completely ever when we were in our mother's womb. So anything that might have happened there, he knows about it. Maybe we don't remember, but he does. And in Psalm 147:3, it says, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So he heals the brokenhearted. Who here has felt broken? I've felt broken many times, and he's always been able to heal me. Can you change so maybe you're thinking, what am I going to be healed from? The stages of healing began since the womb. When you're a toddler, when you're a preteen, when you're a teen, when you're a young adult, middle age, elderly age, whatever age you are now. How? God, through this prayer, wants to go walk with you in every stage. Maybe you're thinking, how? How am I going to remember what my mom went through when I was in her womb? If you're lucky enough to still have your mom like I did when I had this prayer, I asked her. You know, she told me what she went through. But maybe you don't. But through the prayer, maybe God's going to enlighten you. What was the circumstances? Was your mom happy because she conceived you? Was your mom and dad together? Was there an absent father or an absent, someone missing there? What happened? What happened when you were a toddler? Did you have the affection of both parents, or was one missing? What happened when you were a teenager? We go through those changes. Did you have someone there to guide you or not? Did you go through a lot of things that happened to you? Maybe you were bullied at school. Maybe you went through sexual molestation. Maybe you went through things that nobody knows but you do and God. So he wants to walk with you through the young adult life. If you're married, and your marriage, how is your marriage? He wants to walk with you all the way to the age that you are now, if you let him. That is the key. Because sometimes when we go back to certain things that hurt us, we try to numb those things. As we're growing up, many things that might have happened to us, we just numb them. But what happens? That when we encounter a big problem in our life, all that we're carrying since we were in our mother's womb is going to burst out. And that's where we start having anxiety. We start having depression. Because everything that we have accumulated inside of us, as soon as we are hurt by something or something really dramatic happens in our life, it's all going to come out at the same time. And it attacks us. So God, what he does through this prayer is he goes through every single stage with you if you let him. And he doesn't want you to be scared of the pain. He wants you to face the pain to know that he's going to heal it so that you could be a free person. And for me, just to share a little bit, my brother never put the timer, but I'm watching over there. Share a little bit about me. I was the last child of my mother and my father of 9 kids. My mother was 40 years old, so many doctors told her to abort me. But she said no. Many doctors told her that she wouldn't live or that I wouldn't live. She said she didn't care, that she wanted me to live. In any case, that she just wanted me to live, that she would give her life up for me. As I was growing up, I suffered from a lot of depression. I was bullied a lot. I didn't like who I was. I was sexually molested twice at the age of 6, and I never said anything. I went through a lot of things like that I stayed quiet because it was like, how could you tell somebody, especially as Latinos, sometimes it's really hard to be able to open up to our parents. But in an inner healing, when Maria Elena, my sister, got involved in the church, she brought us this inner healing. And I remember her saying, come on, I want to do this for you now. And I was like, no, I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't want to do this. And because she wanted me to write a letter, because usually we would do that, write a letter to Christ of what you went through so that Christ could hear, go, okay, I'll make a deal with you. You want to pray for me? I'm not writing anything. And she's like, as long as you let me pray for you, I'll do it without you writing anything. I went through the whole process. At a point, I felt like I was like suffocating. I can't explain it to you guys, but it was something that I was seeing in like a vision. I was seeing like a casket over me. And I was like, what is this? And then she kept praying, but then I started feeling better and better. And then it was like, when we ended, it was like something freed me. Like I didn't have anything binding me anymore. Like I felt like free, like all these things that I had been carrying, I felt like happy, like joyful. And I was like, oh my God, if I would have known this is how it was going to feel at the end, I would have done this a long time ago. But I still wondered, why did I see that? And I told my sister, it was so weird. I seen this. And she goes, you know what? You started looking so pale. Like I was like, what's going on? She goes, we're going to talk to my mom. And my mom and dad were still alive back then. And she asked my mom and she said, Mom, what happened when Nina, when you were carrying Nina? And she told her, because of all the doctors that said things to me, I went to un brujo because I wanted you to be saved. He goes, and he put me on a table, and on top of that table, there was a casket. He goes, and at that moment, he did something over my stomach. And my sister and I, so it was like a consecration of death. And all my life, I wanted to die. I tried committing suicide twice. I didn't know this. I didn't know. But God did. And he knew that I needed to be healed from that. So it's very important because maybe we don't know. We don't even think of things, that might have happened to us, or we block them, but they're still there. And until we're freed from them, we're going to be able to accomplish a lot of things. It changed my whole life. It changed my shyness. It changed I could do this now. Before it's like, I can't do anything. I would always hide, and God changed my life through an inner healing prayer. That is why it's very important. So what do you have to do? Go to the next one. This is what you have to do. All you have to do is open your heart and let Jesus walk with you through every stage of your life to begin the healing process. And it's a healing process, okay? It's not a miracle like overnight. It's something that you continue doing.